Martino. Welcome to another edition of Plus One Interview. And today we got a special guest, man. Jared Martino is in the building.
How we doing?
What's going on, man?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Long time no see.
Yeah, right. We had a busy weekend in Everett, but we here now, man. First of all, thank you for coming through, man. Really appreciate it, man. I mean, a lot to talk about with you. You got so much going on, but just gotta tell the people we was at the Everett Legends camp over the weekend. Sunday it was the camp for the K through 8, and then Monday was the 7-on-7. But overall, it was just a great time out there, man. For you, somebody that just loves football and you've been highlighting football, right? Just that type of event, how great was that? Just especially for the K through 8 kids.
Right. No, 100%. Growing up with Isaiah and Mikey, you know what I'm saying, and seeing them and how they've progressed and what they've been able to do with their career, and obviously giving back to the community and, giving motivation for the kids that, hey, we're here right now doing it. Why can't you do it? So I think it's so valuable, and, that's something they don't have to do, they're so busy. They have so much going on. So for them to, give back and, show these kids, hey, this is what it takes and that you can be just where I am, I thought it was pretty cool to be a part of.
Right. Also, what's cool is that not only were they also coaching, but they were also participating. They were also getting in the gym with the thing. And that's like, for those kids that are there, when they look back at it, and if some of them do get it that far or make it to that point, 100%. They're going to be like, when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, I got to see firsthand what an NFL player looks like and what they can do. For you, how did you enjoy it though? As far as you was helping out with the drills and stuff like that, just working all of those kids out, man. How fulfilling?
Yeah, that was awesome. It's always good to be able to just pay it forward. Put all the lessons, experiences, and all the coaching that I've gotten throughout the years to be able to give my 2 cents and help the kids out. It's always a great feeling. It's always just having fun with the kids, joking around with them, playing around with them. It's always such a good time, and to be able to do it in the football space and have it connected with drills and all that stuff. It was a great time. My overall experience was awesome.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so many former players too that were teammates with those guys were there too, and I just think that's. We saw Coach D. Loretto there, Everett coach, and I think that's one thing from what I've seen. Not from Everett, but from what I've seen, from the folks from Everett, is like they're trying to get that program back to where it is. Is that's what kind of is the starting point for that, is getting everybody involved in bringing those homegrown talent back in the town, right? The 7-on-7, that was such a great 7-on-7 tournament overall. Last year I missed it because I had to leave early, and I heard last year was great as well. So it's back-to-back years. It's been exciting for the 7-on-7 tournament, especially for all those players that participated. You guys were able to get the win, but overall, it was just a lot of excitement and competition that day. That's what I loved the most about it, and being a fan of it, man. Coaching for the first time, what was you like just seeing that and being the coach of the winning team?
Yeah, it was a great experience. First time coaching 7-on-7s, you know what I'm saying? Me, my boy Dio, and my 2 boys from Get Right Fitness, we decided, hey, we're going to do this thing. Let's put something together, get a team going. And it was awesome. It was awesome because there was so much talent. There was so much competitiveness going on. But at the end of the day, it was all love, you know what I'm saying? Bickering back and forth. That's just football at the end of the day. But man, it was great to be a part of, and to see the guys perform and execute. It was a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, and also for your team too, because you guys kind of had to put that team together.
Right.
It's in a short period, right? And some teams had their school, they had players from the schools. These guys were from all over the place. So getting them all together and trying to see if people are going to be around. I'm sure that was the difficult part.
I was talking to Dio the night before, and I was a little nervous. I was like, man, none of these guys have really played with each other. We haven't had any practices. So I was definitely a little nervous. But, once we saw them perform and we got the butterflies out early, I knew. I was like, okay, talent-wise, I know we have the talent. Now it's all about just putting it together, and the guys came through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for y'all that missed out, make sure y'all get there next year. Definitely. Put a team in next year too, because this is one of those things. A lot of those guys that we saw play on that Monday, we might see a lot of them at the next level
100%,
for sure. Let's get to your story, man. You've been highlighting players for a while now. Making sure you spotlight the New England football football and the players in the region, right? First, what got you started in doing that?
Yeah, so, grew up playing football my entire life. Was playing in college for 5 years, was going on my 6th year at Central Connecticut for my grad year, but unfortunately that season I couldn't play because of injuries. So I was able to already kind of build a little bit of a platform just from like playing college football, my story, TikTok, all that stuff. So once I had to stop playing, I kind of was like, hey, what's next that I can do to give back, and what's next that I can do? Because it's not about me no more.
Right.
It's about the next generation and helping them out. And it's crazy because the first video I ever did was actually about Osiris Lopez, and now full circle moment, he's my quarterback in the Sevens tournament. We've been able to connect so much. So yeah, it's all about just giving back and just trying to help this next generation and allow them to get the platform they deserve and get their stories out there and showcase that the area has some talent.
Yeah, definitely, and that's like the big thing I've talked to people about is this wave of New England players, talent. There's already some in the NFL right now, right? But it seems like in the recent years, it's now starting to pick up more as far as a lot of Power 5 schools are coming here now to look at these players, and how key is that you're kind of part of that in helping get those players that spotlight that they deserve.
Right, no, 100%. It's it's crazy how much it's changed. Going in high school and even seeing the guys like Likely and Mikey, and they were still kind of under recruited. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to see it now and to just use social media as a tool, because at the end of the day, all these coaches are on their phones, all these coaches are tapped in, so they're trying to find the next best as well. So being able to kind of just be the messenger for it, you know what I'm saying, and just, hey, these kids are good. Like, I've seen football from all different types of angles, all different levels, and a lot of these kids that we see on these games and a lot of these kids that we saw just now in that tournament, they can play at the highest level possible, for sure.
Right. And one guy, you just talked about Osiris, but the guy that kind of pretty much stole the show was Tristan from Brooks School, right? And it clicked in my brain. I was like, I follow Tristan on social media. Yeah. I've seen him play basketball. This was my first time seeing him play football. But he's a player that's probably considered the best defensive back in New England, right?
Yeah.
What is it about his game from your perspective, from watching him, studying him? What is it about that makes him so good?
Well, first, he is an insane athlete. I mean, there was some plays where he was jumping out the gym. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't get the interception, but he's getting up there. He's jumping over the receivers. He's sideline to sideline. I think with him, man, he's just so athletic, and his size. He's a true 6'1", 6'1 and a half. Like, that's a long DB, kind of like a Jalen Ramsey almost. You know what I'm saying? So I think his game is special, man. And again, the fact that the only FBS offer he has is UMass. That, to me, we just saw it firsthand. I think some other big schools, Power 4 schools, they got to wake up, because that kid can play at the highest level for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I got Coach Silva too. He's been studying him. He said the same thing. He's like the guy is really, really, really underrated and probably one of the best in his class.
100%.
Last football season, as you were going around all these games throughout the football season, right? You just mentioned Osiris, but which teams and kind of under the radar programs that caught you by surprise, that really took you, that opened your eyes and was like, okay, I like what I'm seeing.
I think when we went to go see Methuen versus Tewksbury, Methuen was a really, really well coached team. I felt like I thought they had a lot of athletes that could go. They had the running back that's going to Stonehill. They had another receiver where I don't necessarily know where he ended up, but he was good too, and it was good football to watch. Obviously, the privates and the Catholic, they get the attention and stuff like that, which they deserve. They have the talent and everything. But that team impressed me, man. I kind of thought maybe they could have made a run at it, to be honest, but obviously that didn't happen. But they had some dogs on their team for sure.
Yeah, you talk about my man Shane Easton, man. I call him Weapon X. That dude was one of the most electric players
for sure
I've seen that season. Actually, the last 2 years while watching him, man. And he'll be at the Shriners game at Bentley College. He'll be participating in that. He's really good. And then you also getting AJ Green. He brought him to the Leominster game. He got the first-hand look at Osiris, and things blew up for Osiris after that for him, right? But well deserved though, because Osiris he's got everything. He's done everything the right way, 100%. And he's grounded young fella, and the arm talent is there. It's special, and he's doing it I would say with like not heralded surrounding pieces, he's like uplifting his teams and
100%.
making a lot of those guys a lot better, right? And isn't that what you want in a quarterback?
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the money. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely he has some talent. Like, they have good kids on their team, but if you're talking about in the grand scheme of things and all these prep schools and stuff like that, like, he doesn't necessarily have these Power 4 or Power 5 receivers that are, you know, going to these big schools. He's making everyone else better around him. And, you know, Coastal Carolina is a great school and he's going to kill it, but that's another guy, man. It's like, how does BC let him out of their backyard? You know, like, it's just, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, man, recruiting is, I mean, I'm not a recruit, but likewise, I don't understand it either.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
Sometimes you just got to put on the film and see, well, you know, and then you see, because they played CM last year, and he held his own. CM won that game, but he did his thing against them too. So it's like, man, but how you like overall in like the grand scheme of things, the way things are going out with the coverage for these kids, and you know, just a lot of people are now giving New England taking New England more seriously now, as far as like a breeding ground for players, not only to get them away from here.
Right. No, it's a beautiful thing. It's, you know, it's well deserved. Like, over the years and just seeing all the talent we've had, and, you know, just guys in the NFL that are making plays now and making it possible for New England to have that light shine on them. Because, you know, if these guys went to the NFL or went to college and didn't do anything, then coaches would still have that notion of, oh, okay, he's from Massachusetts, he's from Connecticut. Now you're seeing guys from Massachusetts, Connecticut, we're all over, that are going to these schools, playing in the NFL, making plays, dominating. So the area, I feel like it's only getting bigger, and it's only going to get more recognized because the talent is here, and these kids they're going to these schools. And I mean, I look at it like, even with the M2, I mean, they're turning New England into like quarterback heaven almost. It's crazy to see, and it's dope, and I think it's only getting started for sure.
And I think every quarterback that I've seen him that's worked out, whatever, I've seen him post videos, and I think every one of them has won some type of major awards during the regular season. So those kids are definitely putting in the work, and it's definitely great to see it. But what do you like? What do you think would be like the 5-year landscape when people look back at this era from like 2018 to like, you know, 2024? You know, as far as like this era, there's been a wave, right? So like, what do you think of like when people look back at this certain period and then moving forward when you know, there's other players that are doing big things, right? What do you think like this era set the tone for?
I think this era is gonna turn into kind of like the pioneers almost. I mean, that have started the wave. You know, prior to that, you've had a few guys, you know, but now, like you said, like 2018 to, you know, now, and it's kind of it's insane. Like we've talked about a few times, but I think it'll be looked at as like that. Yeah, that like Renaissance era almost, that like took it to a next level, and it's crazy to be a part of, and it's crazy to see it firsthand as a player and see these guys, and now taking a step back and seeing it on the sidelines in this next generation. It's well deserved, and I'm excited to see the future, and I'm excited to see the growth.
Back to your journey, like, so bringing it way back for you, you know, you said football was a big part of your life, you know, being playing and all that, going to college for it, right? It's good. When did you first, like, your love of the game, when did it first start, and what got you really into football?
Yeah, so I started playing when I was 5. Grew up in Malden, and my dad coached Pop Warner, my brother played, sister cheerleader, mom team mom, so it was kind of like brought on to me just from like a family standpoint. And then, you know, just growing up, my favorite player was Tim Tebow. I loved watching him in Florida. So that was probably when I was like 7, 8. I'd say like the love for the game like really came. I just loved his passion. I loved how he played, and that's who I wanted to play like. So.
And then moving forward, as you were getting older, right, and getting older and getting better, more repetitions. You know, when did you like take it seriously, and when did you see like, okay, I'm getting better? You know, I'm starting to get a little, you know, feeling of what this game could possibly do for me?
I'd say I had a really good sophomore year. We won the Greater Boston League Championship for the first time. We beat Everett for like the first time in forever. So everyone was like, oh. So there was definitely like some hype started to like come around. And then going into my junior year, had another really good season. And then I started to, you know, get kind of like recruited by some prep schools and stuff like that. So once that started to happen, I was like, okay, I think maybe I could potentially, you know, do something with football, go play in college. And then once I decided to go the prep school route, I knew knew like, okay, now it's time to like really start training, really start working. So that, I think it was the summer of 2017 is when I feel like I took it to like a whole nother level that like, hey, this is what I want to do, and I want to make this dream a reality.
Yeah, which prep school?
I went to Cheshire Academy in Connecticut.
Cheshire in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's a truth, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big step too for someone at that age, right? Making that step, because now you're going away from the guys that you grew up playing with, and you're a whole new wave of teammates that you got to get familiar with, understand like what they do well on the field and that, right? How's that adjustment for you?
Yeah, it was tough at first because I was away from home for the first time ever. I was only 16, so I was 16 years old, living on my own, not on my own, but away from home and stuff like that. So yeah, it was tough at first, but that overall experience was awesome. Just being able to be around so much talent, being able to be coached by some really good coaches, and just experience a new life and just new way of living. So yeah, those 2 years when I was in Cheshire, they were awesome.
Yeah, well, and also like you're getting different type of competition from what you were seeing, right? It hit you like, oh snap, this is way different than what I was just dealing with a year ago. So
for sure.
What was there a specific game that made you realize that?
So I actually remember there was a practice. We had a kid. He's actually in the NFL now. His name's Josh Jobe. He ended up going to Alabama, and then I'm pretty sure he was with the Eagles for a second. I know he's still in the league. I forget what team he's on now, but yeah, he was a kid from Florida, had to transfer up here, and he was committed to Miami for the longest, decommitted, went to Alabama. And I remember we're just in a practice, and I'm playing safety on this side. He's the opposite safety. There's like a sweep coming my way, so I'm running thinking I'm going fast. All of a sudden, he goes from that opposite sideline, beats me to that, and makes the tackle, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is serious.
the sideline speed.
This is serious. This is different for sure.
How many pros did you come across, or future pros did you come across during that time?
Yeah, so he got drafted, Josh Jobe. He was with Alabama, then he got drafted. Andre Carter, he was with the Vikings for a little bit, and now he is with the Raiders, I believe. Played against Justin Barron. He just signed with the Cowboys. Then I played against just guys that ended up at big schools. Jaden Dotton, he's from Cambridge, you might know the name. He ended up at Penn State. I think he's at Kent State now. Tyler Van Dyke was at Miami. Yeah, it was a crazy amount of talent in that era for sure.
Yeah. What was what was the game that stood out the most for you during that time over there?
I'd say we actually played a team in Virginia my junior year. We played Bishop Sullivan, and at the time they were considered like one of the best teams in the country. They had like the #1 linebacker in the country. They had a kid going to Alabama. He was going to Ohio State. And I just remember I was having a good season going up to that point, and we were trying to do some different things schematically to make sure like, hey, we can beat these guys. And I remember just like they had a couple plays where they wanted me in motion just to like see to feel them out at the beginning of the game. And then soon to realize like this Ohio State commit's just going to be spying me the entire game. I was like, geez, it was a long day at the office for sure.
And you get so much life lessons from just playing the sport in general, any sport. You get so much life lessons. What are some of those lessons that you still carry to today, even from your time before going to prep school and from the prep school and then from college?
I think in my journey with high school and going to college and junior college and all that stuff, just adversity is always going to hit, and it's all about how you respond. So I think that was the biggest thing that I was able to take from my experience is like, hey, sometimes it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. That's just life. Sometimes you're going to get hit in the face, and how are you going to bounce back? How are you going to get up? So I think those lessons that I was able to learn through football, through losing, through just going through the grind were something that I still take with me today, and something that I try to pass on to all these kids that I come across, and when I have a family, all that good stuff. So yeah, those valuable lessons that football taught me will never be forgotten for sure.
And going to Central Connecticut State, right? Was that the main school that recruited you the most? Was there any other options that you had?
Yeah, so I decided that I wanted to go there. When I hit the portal, I was there, and I ended up having some pretty decent success in the portal. I had North Alabama, they wanted me, Central Connecticut wanted me, and then Central Missouri. Those were the three that I was considering. I had already went far away from home when I went JUCO and when I was in Kansas and stuff. So I decided, hey, my last year of football, I'd like to be close to home so my parents can, you know, see me and family can come out to the game and stuff. And I had known the staff at CCSU forever, so it just felt like a comfort thing. And, you know, I decided to end up signing with them.
And they do have like a tradition in Central Connecticut,
yeah,
right? Because they've had some guys from that school go get up into the league,
absolutely.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Very, very. Even one of a kid out here, he was there, but he transferred to Framingham. Matthias.
Matthias,
yeah. He's at Framingham. So, and then you got that college experience too. Just networking and getting to know all those people, right? Those relationships you build, right? How has that helped you as far as you know, building your platform?
Absolutely.
And getting to the point where you are right now.
That's been the biggest thing, you know, being at a couple different spots and just going, you know, growing up in Massachusetts, being in Connecticut, and then all that stuff. It's all about just being able to, like you said, network and get those relationships that, you know, they're so valuable, because there may be some things, okay, I kind of want to, or if I want to go to a game for something, or if I want to, I feel like someone always told me that, you know, you're always one person away from the connect that could change your life or something like that. So it's like I have this big network of people that I've just met and just had to experience life with that. It's helped me out so much in trying to build my platform and trying to grow as much as I can. So.
Yeah, definitely. And now you got, you know, summertime is a lot of camps, 7-on-7s, right? What do you guys and the team got going on as far as the next couple months, the next 2 months?
Yeah, so hopefully we're gonna see. I definitely do want to play in a couple more 7-on-7 tournaments. I know the BC one's coming up, so maybe if we could get enough guys to do it, we'd love to do it. And then going forward, you know, just grow it. You know, this past tournament was kind of just the test run. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what it was. So in terms of 7-on-7, definitely would like to be able to eventually turn this thing into an official team and start traveling the country and stuff like that. And then, you know, personally, you know, just going to these events that are taking place and, you know, capturing as much content as possible. Then, you know, thinking about maybe doing a one-on-one tournament, kind of like how Destroying does it. So we got me and my people are talking about a lot of stuff that we have planned for the summer, and I think we're going to be able to do a lot of cool stuff.
Right, and then the brand, Most Hated the Brand, that's the team. That's you guys. You know, how did you guys get that started?
Yeah, so that's Dio, Osiris's older brother. He has had that brand for a couple years now, I believe. So then I was able to get connected through Osiris with him, like right when me and Osiris started talking about, you know, I was going to come to see him and play and stuff. And then that's when me and his brother started talking. We, you know, kind of hit it off from day one. We had the same vision, same mindset. So we were like, hey, man, there's a lot of stuff we could do. And this past weekend was kind of like the first step of it. So I'm excited for the future of it for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely. And then also, before we get up out of here, make sure to plug in all your social media and also your YouTube channel as well. Make sure you plug all that in.
So it's just Jared Martino on everything. On TikTok, Jared Martino. On Instagram, it's Jared Martino _ I tried buying the regular Jared Martino name, but the guy was asking for like $1,500, and that's not happening. He was out of his mind. So the YouTube's just my name as well too.
Yo, these folks are
crazy. I was like, man, $1,500. Let's be for real. It's an Instagram name.
Right. Come on now. Yeah. Some people, they just
crazy.
They out of control.
Yeah, crazy.
That's funny. But yeah, make sure y'all check him out. I don't know. You might pop out. He might pop out to one of y'all football games.
I might. Let me know. Let me know.
Be ready. Be ready to show out if he does do that. You know, maybe he might pop out to one of the games out here. You never know. You never know.
Yes,
but my man,
my guy.
Appreciate you taking the time coming down here, man. You guys been watching the +1. We out of here.
Yes, sir.